are Étude. Hello, I'm Eule. I'm the yellow member of Étude and the host for this podcast. And on today's episode, we have...
Hi, I'm Tilda. I'm the green member and I'm also the co-leader and founder of Étude. Ooh.
Yay. So we have Tilda on today's episode, and as our special guest for this week, we have Obake.
Yay. Hello. Yeah, I'm Obake. I'm a track maker and I am the producer for Étude, or one of.
Yay! We have Obake today. So Obake, if you don't know, is the amazing producer behind many of the pieces of music that you've probably heard in our streams, in our shows. So Obake has produced our overture, our MC song, and a bit of the music, that original music we have coming out this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're in the lead up to 4th anniversary live this weekend. We have Obake here as a special guest, and we have Tilda, one of our co-leaders, founders.
One of those.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, one of those. I mean, we've already talked enough about, I guess, the founding of Étude, so we will probably talk about the current era of Étude. So I think I want to start off. I'm kind of curious, but Obake, how did you exactly find Étude? Because I'm just kind of curious. How
I think honestly
people usually discover our group.
Literally everything roots from Twitter, to be quite honest. I think I got introduced to the Australian Idol community through, I think one of the AMU's members started following me.
Oh, okay.
And that sort of opened me up to the whole Australian Idol community. Once I saw one person, then it'd be loads of other people would be following me, and it was really interesting time, because I think it was it was during lockdown, it was probably summer 2020.
Oh wow, summer 2020. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Whoa.
Around that time ish. And yeah, I think I stumbled upon Étude from there. Yeah.
Wow, it's the fateful meeting.
Yeah, I know.
So
yeah, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask. So were you always into idols from the beginning? Have you been following
Not really. It was more just Japanese producers and just J-pop in general. It wasn't specifically idols. I didn't really know. I mean, I probably was subconsciously into some idols. I suppose you can consider Baby Metal is a sort of idol mashup. But I didn't really know the concept until 2020 again, when I was sort of introduced to that community. So I think it was really interesting to see and to learn about the different things that make up an idol community.
What did you want to ask?
I was gonna say, I do remember, because I think this is the first time I have saw Obake's handle. It was definitely through Amy's.
Yeah,
I think we definitely met through Amy's, because I remember seeing her name pop up on the chat.
Yeah.
And then I later joined the Amy's, was it the Discord server? And I think Obake was also there too. So I think I love for Amy's. And then I didn't realize she was a music producer at first. I just thought, a fellow fan.
A fellow Amy's fan. Shout out to Amy's.
Shout out to Amy's. Because I really didn't know you were a producer until you mentioned that you were making music, and I was on your Twitter, and I was oh my god, that's so amazing.
Oh, that's really sweet. Oh.
So this was in 2020. Oh,
This was like
not very
late
long ago.
2020.
Oh, really?
Around then.
It's actually not.
Yeah.
It seems like a long time ago, but then it's not a long time ago.
Yeah. I can't remember when I think it was Tilda who messaged me first.
Yeah, it was
Saying-
definitely me.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure if like Lily had said something but that was like end of 2020, wasn't it?
And slash start of 2020,
Yeah.
2021. Because I remember
Oh.
we didn't have our overture for our now, but we had our overture for our first audience live. So it was sometime between that period.
Right, yeah.
That
That's
we
right.
first
I
started
remember.
talking.
I remember at a prac. I remember Tilda brought up the idea of an overture. I didn't really know at the time, but because we were learning Yugen territory, and they played an overture in the practice video that we were using, and then Tilda was like, "Oh, maybe we should have an overture," and she was like, "Oh, I know this one music producer, Obake." I was like, but yeah. Oh, now that you mention it, now I remember that.
Oh.
That really was the start of last year. Huh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is quite mad to think that was like over a year ago. Because I was looking through when you first reached out to me, Tilda. That was over a year ago, about like sending like references for the overture.
Yeah, I went through that as well. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's quite insane. Like,
I mean, it's just about coming up on like a 1 year anniversary of meeting Obake. Wow.
1 year.
God, yeah.
Obake working with us, 1 year anniversary. Wow, amazing. But I guess kind of to segue into probably our main topic of discussion for today, I think we should talk about how our EP came into existence, you know. So I think Tilda originally brought it up to Etude, being like, I want to try making original music, and I know that I was probably like the last person you had to convince, because I was very on the fence about it. I was like, I don't know, is it like too soon? But then given that we literally had 6 months last year to do nothing, I think it was a good probably a good time to just like occupy ourselves with, given that we could not go outside at all. But yeah, I mean, Tilda, you can kind of talk about how you kind of decided you had this kind of yeah.
I think it's pretty well known in our group that I am very brash with our ideas. If I have an idea, I would like for it to come true. So like that's how we suddenly dropped Love Live to Idol. And then why we're suddenly starting this project of having our EP. Basically, yeah, it was after our April Live, and I was like, I want to do something more with Etude. And we already have an overture, which was basically the first step. And I was like, I know I want to continue working with Obake and making music with Etude. It definitely took a lot of convincing, because I know Nia wanted the idea because she was very hands-on with the music making. So like originally we were looking for producers because I wasn't sure if Obake would. I was like really scared. I have a dread to talking with people I've never talked to before. So so in an alternate timeline, Jericho would have made our overture actually.
No.
In the alternate timeline.
That's kind of interesting to think about.
I remember because we were this was when we were filming Ray Tuning.
Oh.
And after on the bus home, because me and Nia, we catch the bus home.
Yeah.
I mentioned, she was the first person who I mentioned I wanted to make an overture, and then she said, "Oh, I actually have a friend from primary school who does, he makes music." And I'm like, "Oh, what kind?" And like, you know, she just talks about his styles and whatnot. I never actually got to see his portfolio, so that's why I didn't end up asking. But then, yeah, it's funny how down the line we ended up working with him as well. But music making aside, yeah, everyone. It was after April Live, our Gacha Live. We were still recovering because it was that live. Despite how fun it was only a month of prep we had. And then
I think we were slightly like burnt out from doing like 3 lives.
Yeah,
like,
so close to each
kind
other.
of back to back.
Yeah.
So we're kind of burnt out for a bit.
Yeah, and then I think that was a really bad timing for me to bring it up because like I feel like in everyone's head it was just like, oh, more work. You know?
Okay, but then we went into lockdown and then one thing happened and another thing happened and so now we're here.
Yeah, everyone was like, let's do something, let's all contribute. And here we are.
So how did you like bring it up with Obake in the first place? So after we had made the overture, how did you like bring up the idea of I wanted to make like a full on like song, you know?
I'm actually not sure. I think I just said
you'd mentioned like you wanted to like sort of make a song anyway, and maybe at some point in the future.
And then I guess I just confirmed it and said I want to make a song.
Yeah.
With you. And I remember I'm bringing up our chat now.
Same. I've got it up.
Because like it was a very like drawn out process because I think if you remember, I remember we had a bit of back and forth because some sounds didn't work well, like some, you know, inspiration changes.
I remember so we started off with the first track and I remember the initial drafts like were kind of like it wasn't really like clicking with like any of us. I think.
It wasn't clicking with me either, to be quite honest.
So I remember everyone's comment was it sounded like our overture.
But yeah,
it was really similar,
which wasn't a bad thing. It just didn't click with our vision. I suppose.
I think
then it wasn't a bad thing.
I think then I'd like pulled out after coming up with that because I wasn't like happy with that initial draft. I was like at a sort of dead end with like making music. So I think I pulled out like an old draft that I'd made for something else, and I thought, oh, this could really work actually, and I believe that is the
one.
Yeah, that's the one. I don't want to give too much away, but
I think Tilda sent that draft through, and I think that's the one everyone was like, yeah, I think this is like this perfectly like encapsulates like kind of like the vibe of Étude, I think. And so that has become our first track, Owaranai Refrain. Yes. Not gonna give spoilers away, but yeah. But I think so from there, was there any sort of like musical like sort of like inspirations that you were kind of taking while making these like tracks, or like
I think the only one I can really remember that I'd heavily based it off was Goshu by Cyber.
Okay.
But,
I did not expect that actually.
I think that was like initially when I was when I'd started making it. Like I think the intro I tried to sort of follow that structure. I think as I started working on it, and because initially it wasn't like an Étude project, but like in the next few, in like when I started like adding to it, it was obviously like I knew it was like I was gonna make it for Étude, so it kind of veered off into its own sort of thing, I guess. But yeah, the intro was definitely based off that. So I can't really remember like what I'd based up the rest of the song off.
I remember that for each of our songs, I made everyone compile a sort of like of the songs that we would want to take inspiration from. So I think I have a list if I hadn't deleted. No, I haven't deleted at all. So like, so I think for this project we wanted mostly EDM. So we had like lots of Yunomi, lots of cyber. We had Happy Kuru Kuru.
Yeah.
Lots of Appare Harajuku, like early day Harajuku, Appare Harajuku.
Yeah.
And like Snail's House and like Yunomi and Nikomok. Yeah, like we had lots of EDM music that we wanted to have for this track. And I think the cyber Yunomi sound really pulled through.
Yeah, I think I definitely probably subconsciously took inspiration from Yunomi and cyber. So
yeah, the track definitely, it's like similar to our overture, but it still has its own kind of like different
sound, like the flavor.
The
flavor.
I think something that Lily said in the first episode is that each track like on the EP has its own kind of distinct like color, which I think is very true.
I think that was
like
how
they
we
have
wanted
their own sort of color palette.
I think that's how we wanted our
What colors
EP.
would you say they are?
I refrain. I mean, I'm very much influenced by the lyrics that we wrote for it.
Same.
So maybe I'm thinking of those colors. So like very, like, I mean, it's kind of like similar, like what the cover looks like, I guess. I think the cover of our EP very much. Like,
because we did take me and you, we were the primary producers of the I love Étude. So we made the lyrics, we designed the concepts with Nia and stuff. I think we wanted it to be that the 3 songs, because we always imagined 3 songs. The first song would like represent dawn, the middle song would represent like midday, and last song would represent twilight or something of that sort. It would just represent different feelings. And I guess I think that really stuck along our thought process, like in the back of our mind.
So on the other hand, so that was, why didn't I refrain? On the other hand, we have Elysian, which is our third track, and that one came a bit later.
Yes.
Because I know initially we wanted 3 tracks, and then we kind of went back to having 2, but then we were like, we have time to do a third one.
Maybe we can do
it. We have time.
So funny story. Elysian, or like at least the third track was, me and you really were looking forward to having a ballad song or a ballad-esque song. We really wanted to have that, but then again, like we had trouble thinking of who could fill in the role, because, and also it didn't fit with the rest of our songs, because the rest of our songs had, the instruments were very clashed if we had a ballad. Then I thought, and then I think someone in our group, I'm not sure who it was, mentioned that maybe we should have a darker song.
Oh no, it's because around that time
I know
I got into a certain series, and I was like, I listened some of the songs I became obsessed with, and I was like, gosh, it would be like so good to have like a song like this.
It was
in our
you.
EP. It was me. It was me. And so that kind of started the trend rolling of maybe a darker song for the third one, because the first 2 are pretty like upbeat, bright, your classic like idol songs, right? And so then I was literally obsessed with like these songs, so I was like, maybe we should try something different for the third track. So then we kind of shelved the ballad idea for now, and then
I quickly asked Obake if can we have one more commission spot?
Please, as a treat. Can we have... I think I did. I think I made like a playlist of. I can't find it for the life of me right now, but I think I did make a playlist of. Oh, there it is. Of songs that I like had based off, that I was like using for inspiration for that track. The ones that Tilda had initially sent, obviously on there.
It was both Anto's songs.
Stop.
I listened to them quite a lot to try and get like the feeling. Yeah, just it was like a lot of sort of like dance tracks more than anything that I'd put on. Like I don't know if you've listened to Wednesday Campanella.
I don't think I have.
I don't think I have either.
Maybe
we will
not.
listen. We will listen to it. We will listen to it.
No, 'cause, well, if like anyone listening knows that, then good. So, but
you kind of have a hint of what the third track might sound like now.
yeah. Oh god.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it too much.
When you mentioned like dance track, I think that's definitely very true, because the first two are definitely more like it's not really vocal focus, but it's like not as much focus on the dance.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like definitely Elysian is like more focused on like dance, because there's like a lot more time, like a lot of more space in between like the verses and choruses to really experiment with that. So yeah, I really like how it's like basically like a 180 from from track A.
I thought it was really fun to make though, like just experimenting with like loads of different instruments and loads of different styles. So it kind of brought out like a different sort of side to my production. So I'm kind of looking forward to sort of experimenting with that sort of thing in the future.
I remember asking because when we were making the track, I knew like this one had to be different, so I asked Obake to I used a lot of K-pop as inspiration because I couldn't find anything that was in J-pop that was similar, so like had to go to my older K-pop self, and I gave her a bunch of K-pop tracks.
Yeah, well, they were
this
tunes.
aspect.
So
And I was like, this aspect I want to try put it in the song, and this aspect I think it happened twice. I was like, I want this, and then I want this, and Obake pulled through. She like almost instantly was like, yep, I got you.
I'm glad.
I think definitely the first draft, when Tilda sent across the first draft to the rest of the group, I listened to it. I was like this is like pretty much exactly like what we were kind of going for. It was like almost like spot on. I was like, I think Elysian's probably my favorite track. I don't know. All the other members of the group think Tenkiyama is their favorite, but
because they're happy inside, we're sad inside.
No, like Elysian's definitely like more like the style of music I listen to, because I don't really listen to a lot of idol music, so
yeah,
it's not really the style of music I listen to. So Elysian's probably my favorite out of the three. What about you, Tilda? What's your favorite?
My
track?
favorite, I think it has to be "Oh What a Night with Rain," just because it's the first ever song, and I just love it. I really like it. I have that much to say. I mean, I had equal parts in making everything as well as Eule did. But yeah, I know when I first listened to the draft of "Oh What a Night with Rain," I think I literally like fell in love. I love it so much. It's a little child. I want to hug it.
yeah.
I think also because it was the first one. I know the process was just very fun. I think out of all the songs, "What a Night with Rain," the lyrics changed a lot from what they were supposed to be.
Definitely. So I guess touching on that now, the lyric writing process. So we obviously started with "Oh What a Night with Rain" because that was the first track we had, and a lot of the lyrics are based. So I think the process we kind of established was Tilda would basically write like ideas or like a verse and a chorus down in English, and then I kind of translated it into Japanese, taking some artistic liberties here and there, but that was like the main kind of process. We spent
Yeah.
Ordinary Refrain definitely went through the most lyric changes because I think it was like the first song, so we're still kind of like grasping like what idea we wanted to go with. We also had some help translating stuff that I couldn't translate because I was like, I don't know if this is right.
Basically, like our lyric making process actually changed throughout the songs because I think we learned a lot
from the first one.
Yeah, from the first one, how to make things. So basically, what happened was, I think this with Ordinary Refrain, we tried to make English lyrics at first because we also wasn't English. We weren't sure if we wanted to make an English version and a Japanese version or like either or. I think we were still like split on that because I wasn't really sure, but I also thought it would be a good idea, but also just a lot of time.
It's difficult to incorporate too.
It's difficult.
It's hard to like fit like the right amount of syllables.
That was something we had trouble with fitting. But basically what happened was I did end up making English lyrics, but that was because we wanted to make we weren't sure if we wanted to do English or Japanese, and then we sent that over to our editor Sana, and she basically translated the whole thing and gave her own input of what she wanted, like, or what she thought, and basically we worked off that. We
like options for us to like how to say certain things.
And I remember this was before lockdown happened. We actually made the first verse together and like completely in Japanese, and we showed it to everyone in person. And again, we weren't sure if the Japanese was correct, and then and then we sent it over to Sana, and we kept that unchanged. And then she said she like gave us notes saying it's very good. So she was, and then like she like translated everything else, and then we sort of used that to make the final lyrics. So that was,
we definitely had to tweak like the lines here and there because in Japanese you can say certain things in various ways, so we kind of had to like change it here and there in order to fit the number of syllables in each like line that we had to fill to like fit the instrumental itself. So that was definitely a challenge, trying to get all the words to fit in a single line
and like to keep the same meaning as we wanted as well. Like sometimes when we hush it down to Japanese, it was just the lyrics just made no sense, or like they had like the weirdest meaning, and so we were like, oh no, it stumped us so many nights. I remember we had many night calls.
Yeah, no, it's all those times that Tilda sees me on like the lyric writing doc at like 3 a.m. and she's like, why are you still on?
And then we'd go on for school and just talk about it. And then our lyric making process changed. I think Tenkiyame was
Tenkiyame, which came next.
We did that really smoothly, actually.
That one went a lot smoother.
I remember I only had one request that it had a certain theme, and then I told Eule, I was like, wouldn't it be fun if we made puns of our names in the lyrics? And I believe you'll have a fun time with that.
Well, not really puns, it's just like references, you know. But so for that, because I work better like visually, so I did like a collage of like the kind of imagery. After listening to the instrumental that Jericho gave us, I like compiled like a bunch of images for like the vibe that I got from the instrumental. And then I think Tilda, so we had formed a certain concept around the song, and so then Tilda wrote, I think, a few verses and a chorus here or there in English, and so then I kind of translated it and then kind of continued to build upon it. and we just come back and keep revising it, and then like try and like tweak it here and there to make it fit with the instrumental. And then I think that was like that process kind of went like surprisingly like
went very smoothly, apart from one part which you'll hear about afterwards. It's still a problem spot.
It still stumps us. It's still a problem spot at this point in time. Like we've solved it, but it's still
strange. But for Alicia, it was really smooth as well. I think the only problem I had was every time I'd look at the doc, I'd be like, yo, this is too dark.
No, it was not. It was not. I was just, no, okay. Let me plead my case here, okay?
What is this, Ace Attorney? Guilty.
No, no, I mean, because definitely writing about, like, you know, doing our best and, you know, going for it, you know, that kind of, there's only so much you can say, you know, before it starts to get repetitive. So I was like, let's just have some fun with it, you know, like the vibe of the song, kind of, it just like took me down like a rabbit hole basically. It wasn't dark, okay? Tilda's she's making it seem worse than it is.
Because of what?
Okay, but then
and then she turned it down later on.
I feel like we should just tell everyone now that like the song is literally just, it's a My Chemical Romance song. Let's be real.
It is.
Look forward to that.
I believe that in both of Obake's songs, we had to ask her for the melody guide for the chorus. Because
I'm horrible at that. I have no like music making background. The most music I've done is play like a couple of keys on a keyboard, but like I have no expertise in that area. Yeah, like I'll do it like all literally on the software. Like I literally won't even I could not like make a melody by like playing like a keyboard or anything. I'll just like map notes onto like in a certain place and I'll be like, oh, does that kind of work? Then yes. The boops and the beeps. The boops and the
boops and the beeps. Yeah. But I mean, you know, I can't do the songwriting side to save my life, so we'll take that. I think Tilda mostly provided me with like the main melodies in the chorus, because I was completely lost when it came to the chorus, so Tilda mostly provided me with those, and then I kind of just like did it like I kept on altering the lyrics until it like kind of like fit like perfectly into like the slot we needed to fit. I think the lyric writing, I think I definitely got more and more invested in the lyric writing process as time went on. I initially was not that invested, but then I realized, this actually might be fun.
Because the verses were surprisingly easy for me to memorize it, because I remember constantly listening to the demo tracks on my way to work and on the way back, and just like humming myself to see like if the melody worked, but then I could never get something down for the choruses. Because so I'm very glad. I'm very glad that Obake sent us melody guides for the chorus.
Yeah, I mean, I just played around with a few things, but I'm glad it helped.
How did you like actually?
Yeah, it's difficult.
How did you actually like get into like music making like initially?
Just right. Well, you know the game Osu.
Oh.
Yeah. I started playing. Right. Okay. So a friend like in like, oh god, like 4 years ago now, I think a friend like introduced me to that, and I got into like a whole load of J-pop and tracks like throughout that, and one of my biggest inspirations is Eule, and her tracks were like they were on there like the whole time, and I started like really getting into her music, and like she like really inspired me to like make a whole load of tracks. Because like I'd always been into sort of making little sample tracks or something like that, I didn't actually get like a proper workstation or like software until I don't know, a couple of years ago, maybe a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. So that's when it really took off, and I got into making more J-pop tracks.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, because I always wonder, like, how do you like get into like making this kind of stuff? Because you've also released your own like personal original music. So
Yeah.
I'm always kind of like amazed at like how people can come up with like these kinds of like unique like sounding tracks. It's always like really amazing to me because I have no expertise. I have no idea how to do that kind of stuff.
Well, the thing is that the last one that the last original track that I actually made was like a year ago. So like the rest of them have been sort of like covers ever since then. I've not really like, I've kind of come to a bit of a dead end right now, but I think I'm starting to get more back into making original things. But a lot of the time I'll kind of just muddle.
What do you usually look for in like in like kind of like inspiring you? Like, do you kind of just like take inspiration from like the real world, or like other sort of, like you've mentioned like other musicians, but like any sort of like specific musicians you kind of take inspiration from?
I mean, I think because like for my latest EP, I sort of made a playlist of all the people I've been inspired by. I'd kind of that was a massive mix. I mean, because obviously that wasn't solely just J-pop. I kind of I cannot find it. I took inspiration from like, I think people who follow me will know I listen to a lot of David Bowie, and I really wanted to like cover loads of his songs.
Why not?
And a lot of to be fair, there's a lot of like J-rock in there as well. But as far as like the more electronic J-pop side, I'd say like You Know Me for sure. Mo Shop, Toriana.
Love me some Toriana.
Yeah,
Her
Golf
music's
Queen.
amazing.
Yeah, she's insane. I can't think for the life of me of like producers off the top of my head, but yeah, I think they were definitely the group of people I'd sort of taken inspiration from at that time. And I sort of continue to just build on that, really. I don't think I've really listened to like an awful lot of J-pop anymore, but I like to still like dip into it to get sort of inspiration.
See what's like
I get
new.
that.
Yeah.
So have you listened to so we've
Oh yeah.
recorded our we've recorded like a like vocal demo. I don't know if you can call it a demo, but
Have you something?
yeah, it's mainly just me yelling into a mic at this point. But but have you had like the chance to listen like to your like the lyrics together with your track yet?
I think Tilda sent me one like I don't know when it was, but I did get one of A What a Night Refrain.
What did you think of it? Like
I loved it. Honestly, like if you just like put that draft out there, I'd be like yes. Like, so I can't wait to see like the finished thing. Like, so no, I was over the moon with it. Like it's amazing just to sort of see like that in like you know, it's out there, and it's not out there, but you know what I mean.
It's
like,
not out there yet, but
there's like lyrics and melodies like on top of it. It kind of feels like a real sort of song, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it really starts to like come together. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, as Lily said in the first episode, she was kind of like on the fence about Elysian, but then once she like heard it together with the lyrics, it kind of like all really like came together. And
yeah,
I think it's just like a show of like really like good like collaboration, I guess. It's like seeing how like different people can come together and kind of make music like this, which I'm like kind of excited to see because it's really interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting because it's like I would have never thought of that I could sort of make that sort of style of music. So I'm really glad you sent those like inspirations over and just, you know, said like this is really what we want, because it's really like helped me take a new direction, I think. And it's quite interesting just to see like what a group of people can do.
Yeah. So I think moving a bit on from the music, I think maybe you want to talk about kind of how Tilda kind of came up with the cover out EP art? EP art?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that was, I mean, we didn't spend too long, honestly, like on it, because it kind of, it was kind of like, it kind of just like clicked. Like as soon as like Tilda showed it to us in the group chat, we're kind of like, yeah, that's good, Mida.
It's at the time,
Tilda is obviously our resident graphic designer, so anything Tilda makes is gonna be good. But I know that we did kind of me and Nia, because we're kind of like the main design sort of team for Etude. We did kind of like consider like what kind of style we wanted. You did like compile a bunch of like covers, like cover art, to see which style kind of fit.
I tried to force the group to contribute a bit more, because at that time we were a bit I think we were burning out from so much work on the tracks, and so I was like, everyone, can you please help out? And I think me and Nia sort of decided like, oh, this is the style that we want, and like this is the inspo that we have. And I remember we had sort of two options. We had golden hour, and then because at the time we didn't have names for any of the tracks. We just called them track A, track B, track C. And I remember the first draft of, like the first title draft was for A One Night Refrain was Natsuro in Memory.
Yeah, something along the lines of that. Yeah, but I think, I don't know, I found it a bit generic, not gonna lie.
And also because we had three like amazing like songs, we were like, we don't want to highlight one song above the other. We wanted it to be like, this is a bundle, not just like this is the title track. I think that was what we were going for.
When I saw like the title and like the cover, I was like, oh my god, this is like insane. Like it looks incredible, I think. Like,
yeah, there were like some color variations I think that we did for the album, the cover art, EP art, but I think we decided that like the warm oranges and stuff kind of suited the best. Also given that the title is Golden Hour. Yeah, I think that was very much inspired by like the first track a lot. The words Golden Hour. It's kind of very much inspired by the theme and concept we had going in the first track, but it also kind of nicely encompasses all the tracks, I think. Especially with the concept that Tilda mentioned earlier of like the first track being like sunrise, yeah,
sunrise,
yeah, and going down to like twilight with the third track. Yeah, I think it really fits really nicely. But I know that we did have a lot of trouble naming the first track. Naming the first track, I think, gave us the most like stress, because we're like, I don't know, it's like it could be so many things. And I don't know, there was in the lyrics there's no like word that really stands out, so we couldn't really pick a word out of that.
So
But
yeah, I think Owaranai refrain came from Eule.
that was just me just throwing words around. Just throwing words
That's
around.
what you gotta do.
Yeah, see what sticks. But I think it fits nicely. Like, it fit the theme, and also kind of like the I don't know how do you
The
explain
whole vibe of the whole album, EP.
There's like small like sounds here and there, and it kind of like fits those. I don't want to give too much away, but
No.
it was hard naming the Owaranai refrain because track B, I know you for certain wanted to be called Tenkiyame.
Well, like something
then-
to do with rain, because that's definitely the image I got from the instrumental that Jericho gave us. So I definitely wanted to do something with like rain. Yeah, and then the third one,
Elysian. We actually named Elysian before we finished making the lyrics. Because I was
going
like,
based
we
off
have
the
to,
vibe.
we have to name it.
just going based off the vibe that we were going with.
If you know what Elysian means, then you will have sort of a hint.
Yeah,
Like
an
if you, like,
idea.
compile the little hints. Dark, Elysian. I feel like people might get the hint if you think hard enough. If you use your brain, you will figure out what the song is sort of about, hopefully. From what we have told you.
Damn.
Something about Elysian. I know because while it was the last, I think it was in production the longest.
Yeah,
we had a bit of
instrumental wise, yeah.
Because I think a few members didn't really vibe with it. So like I think we were all 50-50 with it. But it was funny because when the first draft came along, and it's like everyone still hears it a bit now, but like Nia, the first thing Nia said was, "It sounds a lot like the Skeleton song."
you told me that, and I was like, no, it actually does.
Everyone was making all these like comparisons. I was like, stop, you're gonna ruin it for me.
I was like horrified. I was like, how do you hear this? And then,
So sorry.
and like a few weeks later, I think we got back in person and started practicing for Reunion Live, because at that time it was in December. And then Lily came up. She was like, I think we need to change the sound of it, like at least like the instrument like of it, and because it really did sound like the Skeleton song, and like but I'm glad we changed it because it sounds a lot more heavier now, which
it sounds a lot more
helps the
fuller,
feeling.
like the sound.
Yeah.
How did you go about like changing that, Obake?
But there was this like really sort of annoying sort of synth throughout the whole thing. So I think that was quite easy to change. I think I remember just in general, like, I'd just like moved to a new laptop, so like I had to like transfer. That was like in the middle of like making that song, so I had to like transfer like everything, making that. So I think some instruments might have just like been changed because of that, because I didn't have like the same plugins or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it was really easy to work with, I think, just to change little bits, whatever needed changing, because I think with Owaranai refrain, it was kind of, it was more difficult because it was an older draft and I couldn't like access the older files. So it was like, it was a lot harder to change, but with this one I could just experiment with anything that I wanted. And I really, I think, I'm glad. I'm not gonna give too much away, but like, I'm glad you suggested like the instrument sort of change, because I think like that really brought something out of it. Like it really, I prefer that a lot.
It
but
really
like,
made
I would
it sound
never have got that
complete.
idea.
Because it really it stumped me as well, because when Lily was like, we need to change it, or like we need to, you know, I was like, what can we do? Because I like the sound of it, but I like the sound of the draft, but at the same time I don't want to change too much. And I was thinking, Obake, do you think this instrument will work? And you were like, let's try it. I was like,
we'll try it.
Yeah, we'll try it. And it worked, because Obake's genius. Every time we suggest something, it worked, and I'm so glad. Because
God.
everything sounds so good. Even when I asked Obake, because at the time we were still in lockdown and lockdown was finally lifting in Sydney, so I was like to Obake, could you like make a quick piece for us, like an announcement track? Literally the next day, Obake was like, here you go.
Oh god, I can't remember when that was. That wasn't that. I don't think that was that long ago.
It was in October because.
Is it the one that we used for the announcement?
Yes.
Is that
in October in our lockdown live?
Yeah, that was it.
And I remember asking you really quickly. I was like,
that was so good. I remember seeing that and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
I don't like. Okay, I literally don't know how I did that because like I looked at that and I was like, damn, I kind of wish I used that for a song. I was like, how did I make that?
I mean,
it was
you
like
still
something I'd thrown together in like 5 minutes. So.
That's crazy.
I was like thinking like, man, you probably had this in the back burner or something. No, literally 5 minutes. It's amazing.
That's crazy.
It was really strange. But I don't know what happened.
Is it still up on our Instagram?
Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
It's still on our Instagram. I think it's still on our Instagram. Yes, it's like the little black box that says announcement, really ominously.
Oh.
I should have made that a better. Jokes, it's not up. It's not up.
Oh, it's not up. Oh, never mind. Well,
I'm sorry.
Those that heard
put it up.
You. Oh, yeah. Tilda,
Oh,
put it back
I
up.
know.
Put it back up. Put it back up.
I'll put it back up.
Put it back up for the podcast.
I will.
Yeah. No, I remember. I literally could not stop rewatching the clip because I was like, this sounds amazing. Like, where did this come from? One, the announcement was so much. One, Tilda animated the entire like graphics, amazing, so beautiful. Second of all, the music, I was like, this is amazing. I literally could not stop rewatching that clip. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like the can I just say, like, the graphics never disappoint with Etude. Like, it's always like with the cover art and like just that announcement video. It's like.
Yeah, I don't know how Tilda does it. I don't know how Tilda does it.
With lots of pain and crying. With my little suffocating PC when I opened Premiere Pro.
No.
But you know, I also remember just like listening over and over again because it's something about your music that's just so addicting, I feel.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's like a little nicotine patch.
I
know how to describe it.
Guys.
And then Obake also made our recent MC song. We haven't talked about that yet. But so the MC song, we used it during our reunion live and also in the background for our announcement video that we showed at the live as well. Yeah, how did making that go, Obake? How did that go?
I think Tilda had suggested that we could like base it off sort of the overture, and I thought that was a really interesting sort of idea because I think it would be good to like link the two as like that's like Etude's sort of theme.
Yeah, like our signature kind of style, I guess.
Yeah. I think initially I'd try to base it off because I think that was shortly after
the Homura live.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. And I think I'd like initially tried to like heavily base it off that. Because they have like the really heavy drops and everything, and I'm like, I really want to do that, but I can't because like I can't pull it off. But we'll get there.
But it did distinctly sound like Homura's MC song, except I think the problem with their sound versus the Etude sound is that Homura has a very, I guess, like dirty sound. Like it's very like rough. They have like I don't know what to say, like pots and pans sort of vibe.
yeah.
And then like whereas like Obake has made Etude very, I don't know, very like smooth. I don't know how to I don't know how to say.
Yeah,
very
no,
clean.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
So, but
yeah. I mean, I think once I'd sort of change. I think because I had to like make it out so it was it had room for 6.
Yeah, because we had trouble with the timing of it.
Yeah. The initial.
Because I don't think I'd like. Yeah. When I made the initial draft, like I don't think I took that into account.
You were like, this is it, but then I was like,
I can't
we have to add more.
Like I dropped maths for a reason.
Me too. We added a lot more, and then we took away a bit, and then we kept adding a little, like taking away, adding a little bit, like until it was the right amount. And that's how the MC song came to be.
Yeah. I really like that one. I was like, when I saw that the clip from the live from from the MC song, I was like, oh my god, it's like I love the little what do you call them? The little introductions.
Oh.
Yeah, like the little calls. Like they're so cute. I love them.
Yeah, it was definitely based off Cyber and Homina, because they're the only groups who actually do these types of things. But
I think it definitely makes it a lot more fun than just.
It does.
It's like just regular talking.
Yeah, than just us regularly just standing there talking. It makes it a lot more like interactive with the audience, with them being able to like call back and respond to the call and response, and as well with the backing track as well. It makes it a lot more fun, I think.
Yeah.
I think we did mention Tenkiyame a bit, but I do have a special message from the producer himself, Jericho.
Jericho.
Yes. Unfortunately, Jericho isn't here on the podcast with us today, but we did ask if he wanted to just write a little message for us to read out about Tenkiyame, so I'll just read that out. Sorry if I stumble my words, I'm terrible at English. Working with Étude and being part of their debut EP has been an absolute blast. I remember when I first heard their vocal draft over my track, I was literally jumping and squealing out of excitement. It's been a long time since I felt this excited about something that I've worked on. Being able to express that sense of creativity with the extremely talented members of Étude is really valuable and is something that I would definitely be open to doing again. Special shout out to Obake who did a fantastic job with the other songs of the EP. I want to thank Étude for this opportunity to work with them, and I can't wait for everyone to see what we've made. Thank you, Jericho, for that lovely message.
God.
So wholesome. So wholesome.
That is so lovely.
We're really glad we were able to get Jericho to also work with us on this EP. It's definitely been able to Jericho has been able to bring something kind of different to the EP.
Because apart from Obake, who had at least like a little bit of knowledge about idols, Jericho didn't know anything about idols. We were like, hey, you know this? And he was like, sure. And
he did a really good job though. Like I was listening to the I don't think I've listened to the full track, but I remember listening to like the initial draft, and I was like, oh my god, this is insane. Like this sounds like it's like, I don't know, something produced for like Cyber.
No. But I'm so glad we had the opportunity to work with obviously Obake, our beautiful Étude producer, and also Jericho. I can definitely say that if we were making music in the future, we all know who would be asking.
Oh.
Yeah, they've definitely they like, you both have really like distinct styles, so I think that's something great that we can like kind of show off
Yes.
to everyone.
And also we Étude and Obake and Jericho, I think we all work really well with each other, which is something like it's hard to come across these days, where it's just you'd expect just like a buyer seller like sort of interaction, but we all work together really well, and we all support each other very well as well. I think it's just really amazing that
It's really wholesome, guys.
It's so wholesome. I'm so glad that we managed to like make this team.
Yeah, because like I feel like every time that I'm making a track, like I get a lot of like feedback, and that's exactly what I need to like make sure that I'm doing it right. And I feel like especially with étude, like that is what I get, and I'm like over the moon with that. I think that's a really good like environment, and I'm not like, you know, afraid to like get it wrong or anything. It's a really nice little environment.
Oh. I'm so warm right now.
I'm not. It's freezing.
It's very hot today. It was very hot today.
We were just talking about how hot it is here and how cold it is there, and how we just want it to be middle. We just want it to be
But I think that might be a nice place to kind of wrap up today's episode. We are over the hour mark, so I think it might be a good place to wrap it up. So, starting with Obake, go ahead and like tell people what you want to tell them, I guess.
I'm not very active on Twitter, but follow me, please. It's 5 O's and Bake, if anyone wants it.
We'll put it up.
000.
And
yeah, it'll be in the description. Yeah.
Follow me on Spotify, if please.
And they're also opening up commissions.
Yeah.
Oh
Commission
yeah. I completely forgot about that. I've opened a couple of slots up a couple of days ago. None of them have been taken, so it's first comes first serve if you want them. I'm a little bit restricted because I do have a lot of work piling up, but so you know, if you want anything made, please get in there quick, and I will be happy to work with you.
Take it. She's amazing. Take it. We'll take it.
Oh, we'll take it. We'll take it.
We'll take
first
that.
come first serve, we will take it.
Get that bag.
Whatever the cost.
Yeah, so Obake's links will all be in the description. Links to Spotify and Twitter. Make sure you check those out. Support her and
Please
her
support
original
Obake.
music. Obake has her own music out there, so make sure you support that. And so I think now I'm just going to give some news reminders, updates, whatever you want to call it. So first of all, the most important thing, this weekend, this Sunday is the anniversary live. 4th anniversary, 4 years.
Yeah.
It will be
étude.
Yeah, it'll be streamed on Twitch. Our Twitch is étude.au. The AU is in caps. Stream will start at 2:30 p.m. on Sunday, 6th of February. Make sure you set an alarm. I don't know, however you want to remind yourself, make sure you come watch. It'll be a lot of fun. We have a lot of things that we haven't done before planned, so make sure you come check it out. And we also have on our store, we have merch up. So we've got our badges, we've got our shirts from Reunion Live still up. We have the new bromide set, random checkies, and then for Anniversary Live, we have a new tote bag bundle. You may have seen it on our Discord and our Instagram. Really cute design. I'm in love with it. It is so cute. So make sure you grab that if you're interested. We also currently have
not a lot left.
Yeah, it's not a lot left, so get it while you can. And we also have checkies up for Anniversary Live. So we've got solo checkies, sign or deco. We have group checkies, also sign or deco. And we have wide checkies, so you can get a wide checkie of one member or the group. Those are sign only, so yeah.
Yes.
We have that as well. Make sure you check out our store on our website, étudeau.com. Is that it, Tilda? Yes. That is it. And then, as we said, we have our original EP Golden Hour coming out sometime this year, so make sure you keep an eye out for that.
Yes.
And lastly, if you want to get hyped for our anniversary live this weekend, make sure you go check out our live digest of our last live reunion live. It was how many weeks ago? Only like 3 weeks ago.
Isn't it 3 weeks ago?
Oh, that does not seem like a very long time.
It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it's inching closer towards anniversary live.
Yeah, it hasn't been that long, but to get excited, make sure you go check that out if you haven't. It's up on our channel right now. So yeah, I think that's all the announcements we have.
End of our podcast.
Yeah.
This is the final episode as well.
Oh yeah, this is the final episode because anniversary live is this weekend. I don't know. Maybe we might bring it back if you guys want it more, but for now, this is the last episode. So it has been fun. Do you guys just want to give this like kind of ending comment, concluding thought, maybe starting with Obake? Just yeah.
It's been, it's been really nice. It's been really nice chatting on here, and it's been really nice working with Etude. I hope that we'll be able to work together more in the future. I'm sure we will.
I'm sure we will. It's a positive. Yeah. Like, I'll make it happen somehow.
What about you, Mida?
I'd just like to thank everyone for listening to these hour-long podcasts. This is the last episode out of 3 because they're in the lead up. They're a comeback of a Tuesday streams. Technically not a stream, but still a Tuesday.
Yeah, technically.
And then I am pretty sure our let me just double check this first before I say anything because I have a habit of not checking dates.
I mean, I'm here to correct you, but anyways.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say our actual anniversary falls on a Tuesday too, but it's wrong. It falls on a Wednesday. So
it's the 9th.
It is the 9th. That is when the Etude group chat was finally formed. So that is our date. But I hope everyone sees us. Well, watches us on Sunday, 2:30 Australian daylight save. Is it daylight savings?
Yes, it is daylight savings.
Daylight savings. Because I have made the mistake of saying it was Brisbane time. It is not Brisbane time. It is daylight savings.
Yes, it is daylight savings.
I'm so sorry for that. But yes, we'll open up the stream a bit earlier, around 2 to 2:15, so we don't keep anyone waiting. And see it. We're trying a lot of new things at Anniversary Live. So, and bringing back a few old things as well. So I hope everyone comes and watches. And that's my comment for now. Oh, thank you to Obake and Jericho, of course, for sticking with us.
Thank
and
you.
Working with us as well.
Yeah, thank you for approaching me in the first place. It's been really nice working with you guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep this going because it's just a loop, but we thank you.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you, Mida. Thank you for your comment.
Thank you. And thank you to Eule who hosted for all these episodes. And
yay.
It's
me.
Yeah.
It was your idea for the podcast, and I'm so glad this happened.
Yeah, I think I definitely, because recently I've been listening to a lot more like radios and podcasts, so I thought this might be a fun thing just to do in the lead up to the anniversary live. So I kind of pitched it to Tilda and she was like, yeah, sounds good. And so yeah, it's been really fun chatting with like the other members, like more like not one-on-one, but just like in a smaller group, just to kind of hear what they thought about everything. And yeah, it was a lot of fun talking to Obake today as well, because I don't think we've talked like before today, so
I don't think so.
No.
Tilda's our main messenger. I'm
the little evil.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun getting to know Obake as well, and I hope everyone enjoyed listening to these episodes. hearing us just kind of mess around for an hour. I don't know how entertaining it was, but hopefully you learned something new about étude, or, you know, thought this was interesting, you know. But yeah, thank you for listening for these past 3 episodes. So I think we'll say goodbye now. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.